but the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
An update now to a story that we have been monitoring for months. If you regularly watch Finnerty, you will be familiar with this next story. Right now, as we speak, 3I Atlas, an enormous glowing object the size of Manhattan, is speeding toward Earth on what appears to be a planned, coordinated trajectory. It's going so fast that you could fly from New York to Los Angeles in just 1 minute. Now, conventional scientists say that it's just a comet. Of course they're going to say that. But it's doing things that comets just don't do. No comet we've ever seen. So what is it?
Suggested the object has alien origins. He came on this show to say so a while back, even saying the object could be on a mission to release, quote, mini probes that could invade Earth.
Since then, things have gotten very, very interesting. According to astronomers, 3I Atlas has all kinds of surprises. We've only seen a handful of blurry shots that look like a tail is kind of starting to form. There's the unusual chemical signatures. It's producing way more nickel than iron, and scientists don't really know why. And when it comes to size, some estimates say it's about 3 miles wide. In comparison, Manhattan, it's only about 2 miles wide, and that is at its widest point. Finally, the very rare trajectory.
You got to wonder what our scientific community, NASA and all the rest are doing right now. I realize there's a shutdown going on, but this is occurring before the shutdown. And
and this thing is heading our direction, Congressman.
Yeah,
I just want to ask you about one other issue while I have you. Sorry to cut you off, sir. You received intelligence that suggests that there are perhaps deep water alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People have been whispering a date for a long time now. I know where that lie comes from. I know specifically what document from the 70s initiated the idea of that lie. A classified document. That is the lie you will be told. You're going to be told that there is a craft on its way to Earth. That's the lie. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I sent you 2 texts today with a year. Not from me. Nope. I'm not going to propagate that lie. Not going to be part of it. Not going to say it to the camera. Everybody knows. Just start paying attention. And they'll change the date, especially if they see this. Things will change. Because maybe I'm trustworthy. Maybe I'm worthy of your trust. Maybe I've told you the truth the whole way through it. Now you can verify it. If that's the case, then I'm dangerous. You've been told the truth about UFOs for a long time now. It's been pretty orchestrated. It's been pretty clear. And it's using people that are telling the truth and want to tell the truth. Ultimately, they want you to know something. They want you to know UFOs are real. Thank God we're finally there. We're all there now. They want you to know the truth. But why they want you to know that truth now? Hope I'm wrong, but it's terrifying. Think about it. Maybe it's good to get ahead of it. Call it out now before they do it. I'll be called crazy. That's okay.
Gentlemen, great to have you back on. Dr. Loeb, I want to start with you. October 3rd is an important date in this 3I Atlas saga. Why is today so important, and what are we now learning about this thing?
For a simple reason, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And we are about to get the highest resolution images of 3I Atlas when it comes within 29 million kilometers from Mars. There are several orbiters, one that was deployed by NASA around Mars, and it has a camera. This camera is called HiRISE that will be able to resolve 3i Atlas with a 30 kilometer per pixel resolution. So we will learn much more about it in the coming days, and hopefully the data will be out soon. Science is fun because we can learn from evidence. So far, there are 7 anomalies of this unusual object. The size is very large. It's larger of all the size of Manhattan Island, about 1,000 times more massive than the previous interstellar comet, about 33 billion tons, at least that mass. There was a jet coming out of this object towards the sun. Unlike a cometary tail that usually goes away from the sun, there was an unusual chemical composition containing mostly nickel without iron. There was a polarization of light never seen before for comets, and the trajectory of 3i Atlas is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun. The arrival time was fine-tuned to come very close to Mars today, and later to Jupiter and Venus. And and also I noticed that the arrival direction of 3i Atlas was coincident with the direction from where we got the most powerful radio signal back in 1977 that was called the WOW signal.
And that brings me to my next question. You're talking about trajectories, and I follow everything you post, and I saw you post a few days ago about the WOW signal, and that stopped me in my tracks. For those that don't know, the WOW signal is something that is just a historic moment in astronomy. Here's a quick explainer from our friends over at PBS about the mystery radio signal that was detected back in 1977. Watch this real fast.
Imagine seeing pages and pages of ones, maybe a 3, a 2 here and there, and then you see 6EQUJ5, right? That was why he said, wow, right? U is 30 times as strong as the noise in the background. Nothing was coming anywhere near that strong of a signal. It was kind of a surprise, right? The signal. And so the question was, did this come from some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence that was beaming out radio signals towards us?
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, and sorry for trying to read your very academic papers and understand them, but if I understand this correctly, the question that you were posing was whether this very anomalous radio signal that we detected coming from deep in outer space, whether that matched the trajectory that we are now seeing from 3i Atlas, as in, we know which direction it was coming from, and it seems to be coming from the same direction as the WOW signal. Is that right?
Yes, to within 9 degrees. On Sunday evening, I decided to check it out after a day full of interviews. And it turns out that the 2 directions of the WOW signal and 3i Atlas are aligned with a chance probability of 0.6%. And I then asked, where was 3i Atlas in 1977? It was 600 times farther than the sun is from the Earth, roughly 3 light days away. And so the amount of power that was needed to produce that signal is about 1 gigawatt, the output of a nuclear reactor that we have here on Earth. So it's quite possible to have such a nuclear reactor on a gadget that is the width of Manhattan Island.
Okay, so not just nickel, not just massive. You're thinking there's possibly some sort of reactor that will generate enough potential energy to blast off a radio signal that we did detect in the night.
And it's moving along the plane of the planets around the sun with a very small probability. It looks like its trajectory was fine-tuned. There was a glow in front of the object towards the sun rather than behind it, away from the sun, the way we see it in comets. And the good news is that it will come close to Mars actually by the end of this week, so we can get more data about it. It appears to shed the nickel without iron, which is very unusual for comets. So I'm just saying, let's keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Keep our eyes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on it. You mentioned in your study that it could be conducting recon on Earth, but how could it be doing that if it's millions upon millions of miles away?
Alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Can you go into more detail? How long have they been here? Where are they?
Well, I'm extrapolating all this with my East Tennessee vernacular. So we've got five or six deep water areas of our oceans. We actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about these areas. And these are areas where we have a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings. We've had naval folks have told me pretty high up that they've actually tracked these things. Now, we have stuff that can go underwater probably 30 to 40 miles an hour, maybe something a little faster that the Chinese haven't stole from us yet. And we've tracked things big as a football field going 200 miles an hour. Now, I realize in the water you extrapolate that to knots and all that, but just for good old East Tennessee common sense, 200 miles an hour, something the size of a football field. And we don't know what it is. And these are in these areas. So yeah, there's something going on there. And whether it's something that's been here for millennial or whatever, and I'm not afraid of it. I'm kind of like Dr. Loeb. I love to study this kind of stuff. It's the scientific material there he's the one that just disclosed some things that were found that were extraterrestrial in our oceans. And, he's brave enough, I believe, to come forward with those. So I'm looking forward to some more talks about this, but I think I've kicked the hornet's nest because it was just in a casual conversation with a blogger and I discussed it. It wasn't in a classified setting, so I could talk about it. But I always remember the last thing this one high-ranking official told me as he left my office. He was right close to me as I am to my phone in my barn right now. And he said, Tim, they're real.
If you enjoyed today's video on Anonymous Official, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching and sticking with us.